We're now live.
All right, here we go.
And we're live.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Everybody good to go?
Yeah.
Got a whole crew here tonight. We got Ellie, we got Emma. Everybody's chilling. All right, welcome to the Wednesday Wellness Minutes. You've been on the Dusty Cabinet, haven't you?
Yeah.
There you go. Just got to get ready for the, your show.
Yeah.
Lights, camera, action.
Camera mode.
So here you go.
Oh.
Let me fix my hair.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so
First hair joke of the night.
for sure, yeah. I tend to use my bald joke every day, at least once a day.
At least once.
So you saw the caption. Basically, it talks about do you have any of these diseases? Because they're everywhere. You just don't see them. Now, we've talked a lot about illness, like ill health, people with conditions, things like that. What we haven't spent much time on directly are diseases of the mind. Okay, these are diseases of your mind. They're like diseases of your attitude, and they can be just as damning or damaging to your health, if not more so than a physical illness. Because if you have them long enough, they'll actually create your physical illness, right?
Yeah.
Which you don't want. So we're going to talk about. All right, we're good to go, Emma. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, make sure we don't have any snafus of the old audio visual.
Perfectly.
Sweet,
Yep.
as best it can go.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so we're going to talk about what they are and whose influences you and what you can do about these things. Okay. So first of all, if you look around in the world, I mean, you don't have to turn on the news, but 2 seconds. There you go. So do not disturb works really well. So, all right. Anyway, what we were saying was negative is normal, right? If you turn on the news, if you talk to a lot of people, especially during this time frame, I mean, everybody's just, well, we're in election season now, so.
Well, fear's being planted like everywhere.
Everywhere. So negativity is normal. Now, that doesn't make it good, and it doesn't make it optimal, but it is very normal. So always understand if somebody is like a negative Nancy or negative Nelly or negative Norm, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Got to be gender neutral here, right?
Sure. Well, Norm's not gender neutral.
No? Well, but Nancy, I can't just say Nancy, I got to say Norm too.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? Okay, so anyone negative around you got to make sure you distance yourself from them because that's like a black hole of energy sucking you in.
Right.
You don't want that. So instead of just ignoring the negativity, you got to handle it. You got to learn how to either address it, be like, like I recommend that people consider in their relationships if they have somebody who's really negative in their life, say, consider making a pact with that person. Say, hey mom or hey sis or hey brother or whoever it is. And the fan kicks on.
Okay.
If you have somebody negative, say, make a pact with them that says, if we find our conversations going negative, we're going to go back and say, hey, well, it seems like we got off track. Let's get back on track. Let's only talk about the positive. Let's talk about things we want to talk about, things we want to happen in our life, not things that are negative, things we don't want, things we want to avoid.
Right.
Does that make sense? So instead of ignoring it, try to handle it. So a lot of this, what we're talking about tonight, is coming from the work of Jim Rohn. If you don't know who Jim Rohn is, you heard me talk about before, like I have a lot of uncles, right?
Yeah.
Uncle Jim was the uncle to Uncle Tony. I got my Uncle G, Uncle Grant, Uncle Zig, Uncle Les, Uncle Sadhguru. I got all kinds of uncles, right? So these people are like influences in my life because there are really very few new ideas anymore. What we're talking about is really like reiterating what are the things that are not so common anymore as far as within common sense, but we want to tend, like one of the things Jim Rohn says, tend to the garden of your mind. And Jim Rohn he learned a lot of his stuff from Earl Schoaf, which is one of his mentors, and I'm sure Earl Schoaf had a mentor above him and an uncle above him and so on and so forth. But the whole concept is if you don't tend to the garden of your mind, the weeds are going to come in. So that's everybody else's negativity, everybody else's ideas, the negative patterns from mom and dad, aunt and uncle, grandma and grandpa. I mean, it could be anybody, anywhere, at any point. So you want to be mindful of that, okay? The number one, shall we say the first, first disease of the mind is called indifference. And that's kind of like you're living life on the fence. It's the quote-unquote mild approach to life. It's really kind of like in the lukewarm, like, I'm going to dip my toes in and see what the water is. I'm not really going to, instead of plugging your nose and jumping in headlong, really, it's kind of drifting through life. And when you think about drifting through life, you're kind of like, okay, that didn't work, so I'm going to go over here, and, I didn't really work, that's over here, over here. So really, people who are stuck in the middle, they tend to not choose one direction or another. So what I would encourage you to consider is take a direction, and at least you're heading in one direction.
Right.
Okay? If you find out that wasn't the direction, you say, okay, I'm going this way now. And that didn't work, I'm going to go back this way. And you kind of navigate your way through. Because if you're just on the fence and you're not jumping, you're not doing anything, you're just going to stay stuck where you're at. So if you have relationships in your life, if your work's not where you want it to be, anything, any aspect, your physical appearance, it's just like take one step in that direction and it's going to kind of flesh itself out. Ultimately, I would encourage you to have strong feelings. Now, I spent a good 40 plus years of my life. Now, some people would argue that I have definitely had strong opinions in my life, but I would say that I was trying to be everything to everyone. And the problem with that is, if you want to attract certain people or certain things in your life, you tend to have to polarize. So you want to polarize to attract is a phrase that I heard at one point in my life. And it's not about being a polarizing figure, but it's really about saying, okay, this is what I believe, and this is how I'm going to live my life. And the people who are okay with that and agree with me or are on the same path, they're going to be along the same path. And people who don't, they're going to drift away from you. So consider that. Indifference, though, is the first disease of the mind where you're just like, I guess I don't know what I want to do. Not very helpful. Okay, not going to get where you want in life. Attached to indifference is usually indecision, because if you're not very certain about what you want, first thing is get a clear vision of where you want to go. Don't worry about the steps in between. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Just consider, I'm going to go in this direction because I want that outcome. And until you find some other information, you're going to continue on that path until you get the outcome you desire. So indecision is like what I call analysis paralysis. And I pretty much suffered every single one of these mental diseases, I can assure you. That's why it's so profound to me to even think about, because analysis paralysis,
Sure.
Oh my gosh, what if this happens? Or, oh, what if I do that? Or, well, if that doesn't work? And, well, oh my gosh, what happens like this, right? So you get this mental paralysis, and nothing ever good happens. And you don't go anywhere. It's like being lukewarm and being indecisive.
Yeah.
Or indecision or things like that, just holding back. Just like being everything to everybody else and not doing it on your account. Indecision is the same way. Just take into consideration there's nothing right or wrong. There are no rights or wrongs in the world. Like everybody, like your parents will probably tell you the right decision, the wrong decision, la la la. That's in their opinion. It's not about what's right for you or what's wrong for you. It's not even right or wrong. It's like, make a decision, go in that direction, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then you can change direction. That doesn't make it a right or wrong decision or direction. It makes it an option to go through. So we talked about this. I did an entire segment on this about getting rid of right and wrong, good and bad. It's not serving you nor your family nor anyone you care about. So basically, figure out where you want to go, because when you decide, that's when your life begins. That's really what I would encourage you to consider. Okay, decisiveness is one of the great aspects of being successful. When you can be certain about where you want to go, even if you don't know how to get there, you don't have to know that. Just say, I'm being decisive. You're going to be working toward your goal, and you're going to be successful.
What if you don't know where you want to go? Like we have a lot of kids going into college right now.
Sure, absolutely.
How would you set that course of action without really knowing what the end goal is, knowing you want more, but not.
Yep.
How do you paint that picture for yourself?
You want to figure out what your interests are. Where are my strong pulls? What am I most strongly interested in? And you say, okay, I don't know if that's what I'm going to end up doing, but I'm going to take a step that direction.
Okay.
So here's an example. I started out college. I went to college to play football. I didn't go to college to get an education. I started off a double major in criminology and psychology. I wanted to do forensic pathology. I wanted to profile serial killers. I was like, ooh, that sounds awesome, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm falling asleep in psychology class, and this is pretty lame. So I go to geology. So I'm going to be a paleontologist. I'm going to go through the Gobi Desert. And I'm going to look for dinosaur fossils. It's going to be awesome. And then one lab that had me licking a rock to see if it was a salt stone. I'm like, oh, this is dumb. So then I end up talking to some of my buddies on the football team, and they're engineers. I'm like, engineering? That sounds cool. What does that mean?
I had no idea.
So yeah, 2 years into college, I said, hey, engineering sounds like fun. I get to break stuff with, destructive testing. I do robotics, and I get to do all this and that thing. Let's do that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It's a 5-year program. Not usually recommended to start, 2 years into school, start a 5-year program.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I took the long road and got out and graduated and had 5 years in engineering before I went back to school. But ultimately, it's like you don't have to know what it is. Like just take a step. Just move in a direction that's productive toward something you're interested in, and you'll figure out sooner or later whether you like it or not.
Right.
That make sense?
Yeah.
So, okay. The next disease of the mind or disease of attitude is doubt. Now, the worst doubt is, of course, in doubt in yourself, right? And Lord knows that every one of us has had some doubt in ourselves at some point in our lives. But when in doubt, think about where you've been successful in life. I don't care how small it is, how minimal the success was, how trivial you think it might have been. If you are doubting yourself, you want to take a step back and say, okay, when did I feel most confident? When did I feel most certain? Instagram sounds bad. What am I doing?
That's Instagram.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right. You want to troubleshoot? Here, catch. All right, so I'm coming closer. All right. So thanks, Emma. Appreciate the heads up. We just love, you got it in there? All right, so we just love the audio visual here. It's our favorite toy.
Okay.
Wireless mics, we try to do. Okay, we'll give it a shot. We'll get this right,
Emma
at some
will
point.
let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I think Emma's leaving though, so whatever. We'll paste this back on there or something like
I
that.
manifested her to check.
Okay.
And
And she's back. Okay. So understanding that like your self-worth is going to be affirmed by taking progress steps. Like even if you're unsure, like we just talked about a second about knowing where you want to go, but not knowing all the steps in place.
Sure.
Don't let your doubt in what these next steps are keep you from moving forward.
Okay.
So your progress is going to help you feel successful. So any day you take one step toward your goal, any day you take one step toward something that's uncertain, you're taking a step towards success.
Okay.
That's really important because self-confidence, that's a huge key to becoming successful.
Right.
Huge. I mean,
Absolutely.
whether you're self-confident in academics, in athletics, in just relationships, whether it's just being a good friend, anything.
Right.
But if you're going to be a believer in anything, believe in yourself because ultimately, you're the only one you're never going to leave or lose. So you might as well believe in yourself because you got to live with yourself the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So, all right. Disease of the mind number 4 is worry, right? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Oh no, right? What is it? What's her name? Saturday Night Live. I can't think of her name. Shannon.
Oh,
Molly. No, whatever it is. It doesn't matter.
we're in the right
Yeah.
age though.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, worrying about things like getting all sweaty and nervous and what's going to happen? So it takes just as much energy to worry as it does to do anything else in your life. So you can put your energy into something that's uncertain and like I don't know what's going to happen, or you can put your energy into, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm gonna take control of how I feel and I'm going to take steps toward it, what I want to do. So worry, you can worry about your health problems, worry about the social fabric of our culture,
Right.
worry about the coronavirus,
Right.
worry about your family member, worry about your job, worry about anything else, okay? What I found is the greatest way to predict your future is to create it. Now, I don't know who to attribute that quote to, but generally speaking, if you can take steps toward creating your future, oh, thank goodness. If you can take steps toward creating your future, then you have less worry about what's going to happen because
Right.
you're literally taking command of your life, and it doesn't matter what happens along your path because the closer you get to succeeding in your goal, the more things are going to crop up, right? We're ready to move into our new space, and guess what? Our ADA section on our reception desk is not long enough. So guess what? We get to retrofit it. Awesome. What do? We just keep rocking, right?
Yeah.
We just keep on going. We just keep moving.
Not
Keep
going to serve us to worry about.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
what we're going to invest our energy in that or invest in our participants, and we
Right.
choose to invest in our participants. So I'd strongly encourage you to give up worrying because ultimately that's a disease that's like emotional cancer.
Right.
Like it's just
For sure.
it's just going to suck it out of you. So instead of thinking about worry, think about opportunity. I like to think about everything that happens in my life, and I encourage all our participants to think the same way. Anything that happens, it's we either two options really: opportunity or threat. I like to look at things as opportunities instead of threats, because there's plenty of things that can come up. In fact, when I see something that seems like a threat, and I go like, "Oh, I feel myself tighten up." Oh, nope. All right. Where's the silver lining?
Right.
What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Even like, I don't know everything, and it's freeing to say that now. Before I would have been paranoid, like I don't know everything. Like, I don't know the answer. And I say, you know what? That's a great question. Let me get back to you on that. Or, well, that's an interesting question. I've never had someone ask that before. Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anything like that. It's not about understanding everything. But stop worrying about doing everything right. I was just talking to one of our participants today about like living your true and authentic self, and
Yeah.
like just being you and having your message be yours and things like that, rather than worrying about like how does yours compare to everybody else's and things like that. Mm-hmm. Stop comparing and start living. Just live your true and authentic self and just be yourself. Okay. Along with worry goes overcaution. That's another disease of the mind, disease of belief and attitude. So overcaution, like, the timid approach to life, right?
Okay.
Like, I'm not sure if that be careful, don't get hurt,
Sure.
right? So I try to work with my daughter and I try to remind her to be mindful, right? Now, if I feel like she's going to run off a cliff, I was like, careful, stop, don't do that.
Right.
But if she's just, doing her thing and like cruising by the corner of a table, it's like, be mindful, like that, it's, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially when they're short, they just right at that table height, it's like,
Right.
bam, like,
Yeah.
oh, I got to mud pack that again, right?
Yeah.
That's what my mind goes like, okay, you didn't break it, it's still connected to you, I'll just mud pack it, it's fine.
Right.
But, be mindful. So consider using that language instead of being careful. Our culture talks about being careful all the time. Oh, honey, be careful. Oh, sweetie. Oh,
Right.
you know, you're
Right.
driving home. Be careful.
Right.
Of what?
Right.
What are we being careful of? Right? You know, you can't really control it if somebody's driving down the opposite side, the same side of highway as you, going the opposite direction.
Right.
There's nothing about being careful there, right? You're being mindful, like, oh, I see headlights coming to me. Should they be on this side of the road? No. Get out of the way. That's like being mindful. So instead of worrying, you know, the worry is like the language of the poor. And I don't mean poor as in monetary. People think poor, they assign it to monetary value.
Mm-hmm.
Poor is like of the mindset.
Right.
When you're a warrior, you're going to be poor in the mind, okay? And that's going to lead to, you know, you don't want to go too risky. Your life, you don't want to be, you know, risky behaviors, whether it be risky with your funds, with your family, with your body, with your food, with anything like that.
Right.
You want to be smart about it.
Right.
But, you know, there are prices for things being too risky, and there's also prices for not doing anything, right? So one of the things Jim Rohn talks about is like, if you think it's risky to take a step towards something, what do they give you the bill for not taking risks? Okay, that could be with your career, with your money, with your family members, whatever it might be. So, yeah, another joke is, you know where I'm going with this?
No, I have no idea.
Life is risky. Nobody gets out alive. So stop worrying and let it go, because you just got to get out there and do your thing, right? You didn't know where I was going?
Joke.
No, but it's an idea, though, right?
Okay,
Nobody gets out alive,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
No, nobody gets out alive. Right? Life is risky.
Ready for a punchline. Yeah. No, you do say that all the time.
So that joke fell flat? Sweet, I'll work on another one.
Okay.
All right, great. Sweet. So one of the things Jim Rohn talks about is don't ask for security, ask for adventure. Right? Look for variety. Like one of the basic human needs, according to Tony Robbins, is variety. You need certainty, variety, contribution, connection, love, things like that, and growth are some major human needs. But it's not important how long you live. Like we could all lay on the pool table over here and with a sheet over us, and you know somebody bring us 3 cots or 3 hots on a day, and have a cot to lay on, and you might live 100 years, right? You'd be osteoporotic as all get out, because as soon as you stop moving for a day, you're osteoporotic. But anyway, getting back to it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not going to be very adventurous. It's not going to be very fun. So it's not about how long you live. It's about how well you live and how much you enjoy it while you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we try to instill in our participants as they come in. Pessimism is the next disease of the mind. Pessimism, of course. Pessimism is like the easy way out. It's like, oh, that'll never work. Oh, that's dumb. Oh, this and that, because it's all naysaying, which keeps you safe. Now remember, your brain might be undermining your success because your brain is trying to keep you safe. Especially in COVID times, people are afraid of dying, right? Mm-hmm. Completely, I would say it's not a great idea to worry about it, but that's not my body. I'm not worried about it. So I would encourage you not to worry about it, but at the same time, pessimism is like, oh, that's never going to work. It's never going to happen for you.
Like shut it down before it even can start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the safe way to do it, but you're not going to get anything out of life. You're never going to get anywhere. You're not going to enjoy great heights and you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So if you always say things that are negative, you know, it's like the glass half full, glass half empty. You know, I mean, I try to see everything as a glass half full, because it's like, okay, I'm showing gratitude for what I have, like that half full glass, rather than, oh crap, my glass is half empty. You know, look, it's half gone.
Right.
No, it's half full.
Right.
Sweet, I got more to enjoy. So poor thinking habits will keep you poor is another way of thinking about it. Again, not monetary. It's all about are you wealthy in the mind, or are you poor in the mind? So think about it that way, not monetary. You know, as you think, so shall you become. I think it's a Bible passage of some sort. That's a good one, a good reminder, because I just had a conversation this morning with one of our participants. She's convinced that her body might be failing her, and I was trying to help her understand how her mind tells her body what to do. And at the same time, you know, if we are limited thinking, what you think about, you bring about. So if you are limiting your activity, your livelihood, your body in any way, and through your thinking, your pessimistic thinking, you're not going to manifest your true potential.
Right.
So, you know, it's a case of stinking thinking, as Zig Ziglar used to say.
Okay.
We like to call it getting a checkup from the neck up, right? People get a checkup from the neck down most of the time, but we get checkups from the neck up, because ultimately it helps, because once you can fix the noodle between your ears,
the rest is going to follow.
It's going to follow.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you know, one other concept is thinking about your mind as a mental factory. So what are you pouring in your mental factory? Because what you put in your mind is going to create your life. So are you pouring in, you know, you wake up in the morning and turn on the news and watching, you know, the officer-involved shooting, the child missing, the robbery, the disease, the famine,
Right.
the problems all over. That's going to definitely set you up for not a great day.
Right.
Just put it out there. So what you pour into your mind, other people's ideas, your ideas, what kind of information you're consuming and things of that nature is going to determine how well your day turns out. So Zig Ziglar used to say, your attitude determines your altitude in life. So what your attitude is and how positive or negative is going to determine how high you're going to climb as far as your heights go. Number 7, disease of the mind is complaining.
Okay.
Now, murmuring, whining, crying, things like that. Murmuring is like an old fable type of word. It's, we don't use it anymore.
Okay.
But like murmuring under your breath, like, oh man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of murmuring.
Right.
But complaining, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to destroy your future, because if you are going to sit there and curse everything you have, right? Like people that come in like, my body doesn't work. Well, it's the only body you have.
Right. Don't talk to it like that.
Right. Why would you want to talk to it like that if it's the only one you have? That's like a farmer going out and saying, damn dirt, crappy weather. That's all you get.
Right.
So when you can work with that stuff,
Yeah.
it's your only opportunity.
Right.
So whether it's your body, your crops, your rain, your stars, your moon, your family, if you are complaining about it, it's only going to get worse, because you're going to look for the negative. That's kind of the pessimistic. It's always looking for the negative. Like the pessimist delights in the negative, right? One of the jokes Jim Rohn says is, this guy runs up and says, I got 5 good ideas why it won't work. And his joke is, he's so dumb you only need one why it won't work. Right? So understand that complaining and being pessimistic about things, these are diseases of the mind. Like I can assure you, and each one of you, hopefully you'll take some time to look at your own life and say, where do these intertwine in my life, and at what point did I have them? Do I have them all now?
Right.
And see how they affect you. But I would encourage you not to curse the things you have. If you only have one body, definitely don't curse it. Hurricane's back.
Yep.
Appreciate what you have. Show gratitude for what you have. But I want to encourage you to be on the lookout for negativity in your life, because negativity will destroy everything you start and tear down everything you have. Okay? If you ever start an adventure in life and something doesn't start out well, it usually doesn't end well.
Sure.
Okay? So just keep that in mind. So what can you do about this? First of all, take stock into who are you around. Like Ellie, she's positive, she's happy, she's go-lucky, she's excited about life.
Right.
She's looking for opportunities. We talk about every morning. We look for challenges, and we turn every problem we face into opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
We say it every morning.
Yeah.
We have a set of affirmations because it sets the tone for our day.
Right.
Reminding our participants that they are unlimited, guiding them back to living the life of their dreams. These are all things we talk about every morning. So who are you around? Who are you spending time with? It's generally said that if you look at the 5 people you spend the most time with, that's going to be sort of the average of who you are. So figure out who you're spending time with and start taking inventory, like good, bad, if you want to use those terms, ideal, less than ideal, maybe a different way of looking at it. But what are my associations doing for me or doing to me? Am I hanging out with a bunch of drug addicts? Am I hanging out with alcoholics? Am I hanging out with people who are stinking thinking? Am I hanging out with people who are not active and I want to be active? Like, who are we associating with? Things like that. What are they doing to your life? And it's by choice that it's happening to your life. So then ask yourself, are these associations okay? Like, are they positive associations? Are they negative associations? Are they energizing me?
Right.
Are they...
Do you feel supported when you're with them?
Are they elevating me? Are they tearing you down, right? Right? Yeah, I mean, it's just, you got to pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
So 3 ways of handling these associations are, well, there's the one way of handling is like disassociating, like, woo, I'm backing away. Like that's a toxic relationship, poisonous relationship, that's a negative Nancy, negative Norm, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I got to back away because that's too intense. And then, of course, you can try limiting the association, like taking it in small bouts. Right? I don't know why in-laws get such a bad rap, but I mean, I like my in-laws.
Yeah.
I mean, you always hear the stories like, oh, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, something like that.
Right.
Like, just limit your time with them. They could be a mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, cousin, child, I don't know, whatever it is.
Anybody.
Could be anybody.
Yeah.
So limit your association. Either disassociate completely or limit your associations so they have a lesser effect on you. And then, of course, you could expand your associations, which is, I'm sensing these people have come into my life and they've been in my life for a while, but I'm realizing that they're not that supportive or not that uplifting.
Sure.
So now I need to expand my association. So, I'm hanging out with Bobby and Joe and Dougie over here, and they're kind of, all they do is kick a can around and piss and moan about things and talk smack about everybody else. And I'm like, well, at least she's nice and she's uplifting and she's happy and go lucky, and we should hang out with her. I mean, her positive energy can rub off on me, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you want to pay attention to who you're spending your time with and find people that you can associate with. You know, success breeds success. So when you can think about that, you want to be around people who are successful. Look for people who are, I wouldn't call it one step ahead of you, but who have done things that you want to do.
Yeah, like that inspire you. That's like what
Exactly.
I'm trying to do.
Surround yourself with people who inspire you,
Yeah.
encourage you, like give you like the desire to grow as a human being.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the car, it's not about the house, it's not about the
No.
clothes, it's not about anything that you can get monetarily. It's more, as we say on our quote, it's not about the destination or the object you can attain on the journey, it's who you become on that journey.
Right.
Because ultimately, all that stuff can get burnt in a fire and you won't have it anymore, but you're left with you.
Right.
Right? So ask yourself, what diseases of the mind or the diseases of the attitude do I have? And how have they been affecting me? And you can look back in your life. I think I've lived like 5-6 lifetimes already. And I can look at different compartments, like, you know, childhood, adolescence, puberty, high school, college, you know, graduate work, pre-marriage, post-marriage, pre-kid, post-kid. I mean, it's all different times.
Right.
Look at all of these different thinking habits. So, and then ask yourself, if I don't have that disease of the mind or disease of the attitude anymore, what did I learn from that? Why, and that's why I don't have it anymore. Because if you don't learn the lesson, you're always going to have it.
Right.
So the goal is to learn the lesson and move on. Then look around who you're associating with. Like, who am I spending time with? Who do I want to spend time with? Do I want to keep spending time with these people? Because if I want to keep getting what I'm getting, I'm going to spend time with people who I've been spending time with.
Right.
If I want something different, I got to shake it up and I got to move over and hang out with somebody, you know, positive Patty or something like that, instead of negative Nancy, right?
Yeah.
So just let us know what you took away from this. Let us know what your thoughts are, what hit home. Which disease of the mind do you think you've been challenged with in the past? Which ones are you working on now? Which ones are you afraid of getting? So and you're afraid of, like, oh, what if I do that? What if I get that? Oh my gosh.
Right.
Like, these are ideas, right? These are other people's ideas typically that are holding you back. So let us know which one you think you have or which ones you worked through in the past. Let us know if there's someone you can think of that would benefit from this. Because Lord knows if you're around people who are negative Nancy's or negative Norm or positive Patty and things like that, you're going to know who they are. It won't take you too much, unless you're completely rose-colored glasses, right? Because once you get a chink in those rose-colored glasses, things are not so rosy anymore.
No.
And you can kind of see who the people you're around and what kind of influence they've had on you and stuff like that. So let us know, other than audio-visual, so Lord knows we're
trying our best.
Good God.
Yeah.
Currently, these are going to go back to China.
Hopefully Instagram improved.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll hear about it.
Yep. But we'll go from there and let us know what you want to learn about.
Yeah,
Like,
let us know what we can talk about, what you'd like to see.
yeah, what information are you looking for? I mean, we could do cartwheels and, you know, handstands stuff like that, but that's not very exciting because it's not going to empower you much.
Yeah.
It's our pregame warm-up. My pregame warm-up. Get some blood to my head, you know, things like that. What would you like to learn? What things did you find beneficial? You'll think about somebody who you can share this with that can benefit from it, because Lord knows anywhere you look, people have some diseases of the mind. Okay? We're not going to be doing Freestyle Friday this week because I'm taking my wife on our anniversary trip. That's 5 years this year. Nothing but bliss.
Hi, Sarah, again.
Yeah, hey.
Hey.
So I'm super excited to take her on that little adventure. She doesn't know anything about it, so you know, loose lips sink ships. So I don't tell anybody anything. And she loves to ask people, right? She's asking you guys.
She didn't ask me.
No,
But I wouldn't say a thing.
of course she wouldn't, right? Mom's the word.
Right.
Zip it up, lock it up, throw the key away.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I toss it away.
Well, that's what Sophia said last night.
Oh.
Zip it up, lock it up, put your key away.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, that's what they say at school when they're misbehaving. So anyway, we'll see you next week for the Wednesday Wellness Minutes. We're excited to bring you more information, so let us know how we can serve you. Let us know what information you want. And anything else you want to add, Ellie?
I don't think so.
Okay, sweet.
Okay.
We'll sign off for now. We'll see you next week. So you guys take good care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good night.